Hello everyone. So this video is probably y'all have probably heard these things before when it comes to Genshin. Y'all have probably heard everything now. Would like to start this video off to preface by saying I'm officially quitting Genshin Impact. Effective right meow. So rather than going on about how Genshin Impact came out in 2020, rather than building it up, let's go down just a very simple walkthrough for those who are new or to those who have not heard of this game. Essentially speaking, it's a gacha game, and yes, gacha games can be quite addicting. For many who have known me, you have seen or who have me on Discord see me playing this game quite a bit. You've seen me being on this almost like it was a job. It got bad enough to the point where before stream, Genshin, after stream, Genshin, all to make the battle pass, all to earn the primo gems, all for the ability to try to get characters that would like to play as. But as we continue down the game, there's a blight that is in many forms, and we're about to go down each and every one of them. For those who wish to play the game, and for those who wish to have maybe a voice who is saying consider other games, would like to be that voice possibly, if not, thank you for at least hearing my tale. So, essentially speaking, played it. It started in 2020, but lost my account, and started again in 2023. Now, essentially speaking, for those who know me, my quest has always been to get Tanari. My quest has always been that. And yes, there is a lot of salt when it comes to the gacha system, but sadly, when it comes to Genshin, let's face it, that banner's never being reran ever again. Why? Because they immediately, like, before they released it, even to my knowledge, they already planned on sidelining that banner, which means there's no chance to directly get Tanari. So, because Mist's playing the game at that time period, that chance is gone. And the next issue to come up is players who've been here for the beginning have event specific items. They have all the events things that they can rub in your face because they played the game when these things came out. There is no chance of ever catching up or recovering because the fact that you missed one event, let's say 2 years ago. You don't get these characters, you don't get these banners. The likelihood of these banners ever rerunning is not likely whatsoever. The likelihood of these characters ever getting their light in the sun almost never likely to happen. At the time of this recording, there's at least 34 goddamn 4-star or 5-star characters. Put that into perspective. And they're always pushing a new character lately as one of the banners. So as we progress, that 34 is going to blimp up to about 40 soon. And essentially speaking, with only 2 banners each, they tend to run characters who are. You could relate to the characters to each other by plot, by region. In some cases, they do random, but the next issue comes from the fact that, let's face it, if you miss that blip, it's gone. Your best shot in some cases would be to go down the standard banner, but we're about to go down that in a minute. So, hear me out. When it comes to it, when you pull for a character, you get a 0.6% chance of getting a 5-star off the bat. There is the pity system. The pity system, as you make more wishes, will eventually get you a 5-star guaranteed. When you hit, believe, once you hit 90 pulls, you are guaranteed a level 5 a level 5 or a 5-star character or weapon. Now, essentially speaking, to make sure that you don't always consistently pull weapons, they do have it where it's the 50-50. If you pull a 5-star weapon in the 50-50, then you will be pulling a 5-star character for the next 90. But that's already a giant hurdle that you have to get over. And with the games, let's face it, the game does give primos, but on the same note, the game could give as many primos as it wants. And you could just end up pulling a Chi-Chi. For those who know that pain. And consider the following. You just spent up to 90 wishes to get that Chi-Chi when you want it like a Tanari, when you want it the new character. Yeah, the event banners have the increased odds of pulling the featured characters. But that can work against you. Like, some say pulling event banner is best, some say pulling standard is best. The sources of information will always be pulling you one way or another. Sadly, with this in mind, getting a character you like is going to be a massive pain. To make matters worse, there's over 70 characters in Genshin right now. Let that sink in. To my knowledge, at this recording time, there's over 70 characters. Which, not only is your team limited to 4, unless you're doing some battles which go in dual waves, which let you pick up to 8. Most of your characters that you get, that you love, that you cherish, you will either have them on your team at the cost of your other characters that you love and or cherish, or a good chunk will never be played again. You get this character, oh, they look neat. They get put to the shelf forever, only serving a purpose of every now and again if you want to send them to go farm for resources. And by farming for resources, you get to pick 5 characters to send to farm, which only a few characters get benefit from that. At the end of the day, the issue is there's too many characters. There's too much going on for people to effectively get characters they want. And even then, you could just end up getting 36 debate clubs. Why? Because, yeah, you could say it's the random, but on the same note, the gacha system is a very abusive partner. Genshin Impact is, and would like to compare it to an abusive partner, because at the end of the day, the only thing that could be said is get more Primo Gems, get more, do more dungeons, do more domains, get more roles, do that. The thing is, at the end of the day, you could roll indefinitely for artifacts, and the game could just give you defense for your offensive artifact. There's no way to lock in that. And recently, Genshin has been doing things. They've been adding more ways to make life easy. Like, for example, the domains where they used to make it so that you had to go to the center every time you wanted to redo the domain. They'd spawn you at the door. Now they spawn you in the center. But the fact that these things are coming out now, and the fact that we have to champion it, like, oh, they're finally doing it. They're making life easy. These are things that should have came out in Generation. They were in the first era. These are things that should have come out by now. Like, sorry to say it, but mass locking 5-star artifacts? Where was that? Oh, it's out now. It's these life-changing, putting that in major quotation, these life-changing effects that they're pushing now are things that should have been done a while ago. And the fact that they are just now coming out shows that, on one hand, they know their audience. They know. And feeling like they're doing all of this because the fact they're seeing their numbers start to dwindle, and to keep the game kind of relevant. Or at least get players back because, ooh, look, life is easier now. We did the thing. But the thing is, let's face it, back to the polls real quick. You could pull indefinitely, and no matter how many times you pull, all the 5 stars are going to be against you. Now, let's say, for example, you don't want the event banner, 5-star. Let's say you want someone, let's say Tanari again. Tanari tends to be in most of the banners. So in order to do that, you have to, for the standard banner, you have to succeed the 50-50 where you get the character. Then you have a 1 in 7 shot to get him. Which may seem not horrible, but on the same note, you have to realize, first you have to succeed the 50-50. So at the very best case scenario, you have a 1 in 14 shot to get this character. And this is after you may need to pull up to 90 times. There are times where you may need to pull up 90 times, and the reward if you accidentally pull a character that you've maxed out, because if you pull a character a second time, you get the ability to rank them up or rank their constellation up. If you rank their constellation up to max, or if the game realizes you have 6 and can max them out, the game will just give you like 1 wish, really. You don't really get too many wishes back. Like, if remembering right, it's 1, maybe up to 5 wishes. But the issue is you're pulling 90 times, and you get a small, very finite portion back. And that 5-star is never pulled out of the pool. So you could just keep indefinitely pulling that 5-star. You could go and pull that Chi-Chi for the rest of indefinicy. Because the game doesn't even lower their chances of being pulled. Because they're maxed out. Story quests, let's be honest. Story quests would be nice if the story quest would increase the odds of the characters whose story quest you finished. Like, let's say, for example, you did Jean's story quest and you pulled for Jean. There should be a percentage increase to that pull. The fact that we don't have that is just kind of sad. It shows that the story quests are rather redundant, other than to make it so that you have to do them to progress the story. And we're going to get into the other issues in a minute, but for now, we're just going to talk about the banners. So, what it comes down to is, if you want to pull on the event banner, you have to, if you want the characters that are not the event 5th star, you have to pray that you fail the 50-50, and then you have to face off against all the other 5 stars in order to get it. Not to mention, you could still pull, to my knowledge, a weapon, which is the ultimate kick to the teeth. Unless could be wrong, could be remembering the event banners wrong, but the issue is still there. That at the end of it all, the gacha system is very, very just not there. There should have been ways to make it so that eventually you should be able to get better odds. If you've pulled this character 6 times, they should be removed out of the pool. They should be taken out of the pool until every other character has been pulled. At least give the odds an increase. Make it worth the climb. But when it comes to it, everyone always keeps comparing this to other gacha games. Like, okay, getting kicked in the groin doesn't sound pleasant, but getting my face slammed into the dirt doesn't sound better either. And that's what this game is doing. It's taking my face and slamming it into the dirt, and then the community is going, yeah, but this game would kick you in the groin. Yeah, both are bad. Both shouldn't be championed. The fact of the matter is now we can move on to the next couple issues here. The teapot. The teapot was a nice concept, but in order to get it, you had to go through Mondstadt, you had to go through the Leeway chapter, and then you had to go through Inazuma until they liked you to rank 4. Now, essentially speaking, what that means is an item that you get from a character in Inazuma, or not Inazuma, in Leeway, they will give it to you only when you do Leeway, or Inazuma. Sorry, going way off script. There's going to be quite a few gaffes because this is kind of a heavy video. But at the end of it all, one can safely say that the way that it's handled is kind of bass-ackwards. We saved the region, we should have just got the teapot. Can understand the teapot was introduced in the Inazuma chapter, and they had to find a way to put it in for the players, but they could have just had it right off the bat. Like, thank you for saving our region, here's a home base. The teapot will serve as a base that generates its own income when you decorate it enough. You can use it to buy garden plots, which can help you grow certain seeds, certain plants. You can use it to make your base look good. You could befriend NPCs if you put them in there. And by NPCs, the other playable characters who stand in your base as an NPC you can interact with for a little bit more lore. But at the end of it all, the teapot doesn't quite mitigate enough. It helps, but it feels like it's a solution to a problem that's just not going away. Like, yeah, you could get extra fates from some of the characters in the teapot. That helps. But the next issue that we're going to come across is, let's face it, there's too many characters. There's too many characters to focus on. And at this rate, the likelihood of these characters ever really having their moment in the sun is going to be really like lightning in a bottle. But let's go back and talk about events. Events, if you miss an event, you're screwed. But even then, the event rewards are kind of lackluster. Some of the best rewards are a crown, which can be used to raise a skill to its highest level. You only get a few of them every year. They come in events, and right off the bat, the 3rd year anniversary wasn't up to snuff. Sorry, it was just not up to snuff. There's other events like the color event where you had to use a camera to find things of a specific color, shape, size, or condition. And the game would gotcha a color. It would pick a color at random and give it to you. You needed a set of the colors in order to redeem them for one of the prizes that led up to the event's completion. A lot of people didn't like that event. The events and the rewards from Genshin have been lackluster. Can understand saying it now during the Lantern Rite Festival, but this is the 3rd year of this game. And best case scenario, let's just say that 5-star we got for free, Aloy, that was because, I believe it was a collab that happened, but the fact that they gave Aloy free under certain circumstances or a certain time, and Aloy is just sorry, but might as well at least, because hear me out, might as well have it where, for like the banners, have it where you could select 2 or 3 champions or 2 or 3 5-stars that you could focus on. Do something. But we're getting off track. So when it comes to the events have a decent story to them. They give the characters purpose or some form of life outside of the story that you had. Like, for example, we all know the famous Venti getting punched in the gut scene. Now Venti's doing the writing festival, or the poetry festival. But at the end of the day, if you miss an event, it's gone. There's no way to recover it. No way to use your primos or any resources to buy the events. Which means people can just lord over you now. And the defenses are, it's a gacha. It's a game that, or other gachas are worse. They have it horrible over there. Or stop thinking so hard about probabilities. Mate, you're gonna nag about me about numbers. You're gonna ride me about numbers because artifacts and their numbers. You're gonna come at me because of numbers. But then you're gonna tell me to not come at you with another set of numbers? Just because you don't like the set of numbers that's coming from me doesn't make them less valid. At the end of the day, when it comes to it, the gacha system is just garbage. Sorry to say it, but imagine if you went to a grocery store. And sorry to keep going back to the gacha system, but go to a grocery store. You have a chance to get apples, peaches, plums, or pears. We're just going to keep throwing apples at you because, oh, that's your luck. Yeah, don't worry, we're never going to run out of apples. Oh, you got enough apples for your list? Oh, well, here's more apples. Like, right off the bat, we need to talk about the artifacts. We need to talk about the domains. And then we need to talk about... There's still a few things left to talk about. God, we're at 20 minutes. But essentially speaking, the next thing we'd like to talk about is domains. They're artifacts. Because right now, there's no way to set... Because as you go, you get artifacts. You need artifacts to boost characters. And the problem is you need to roll for their stats as well. Everything in this game is a roll. You need to roll for your characters. You need to roll for your artifacts. You need to roll for literally everything, my friend. And with an artifact, it can make or break a character. And the problem is you have 160 energy a day where you could go domain bombing or domain hunting. And each domain takes 20, unless you do condensed resin, which condensed resins take 40. From that, you get more items from the domain, but the problem is it doesn't matter if you roll defense, defense, defense. There are characters who need defense, don't get me wrong. It's part of their pivotal build. But on the fact that there's times where you need attack, you need crit, you need something else. Here's defense. Here's HP. Oh, gee, thanks. This 200 HP is going to be great when Giga Chad comes at me with 6,000 attack and a cajillion HP. Ready to just stomp me to the ground. Like, this game, it starts off easy. The game starts off rather basic, but if you don't get your artifacts and if you don't get your stuff straight, essentially speaking, you're going to be doing 1,000 damage while they're smacking you to Jesus. And with that, this game, along with all of Hoyoverse, has me quitting it. Because at the end of the day, we still haven't talked about the communities. The communities, let's face it, Hoyoverse clearly prioritizes Star Rail. No matter what anyone says, they prioritize Star Rail. Look at all that's been done. Star Rail has had more in their time than Genshin has had in its 3-year run. Well, almost now 4 years. But at the end of it all, it's just clear to say things are not going to get better. And with the annual anniversary events, with the rewards, they're lackluster. And the problem is the game is a time sink. If you want to get better weapons, if you want to get better chance at characters without paying, you basically have to devote to the battle pass. You have to devote to, aside from the battle pass, you have to devote to completing all the quests, which those are finite and those will be gone. You could do dailies, but who knows with the way the world is with dailies now, that some might, who knows. But the problem is at the end of the day, this game is, for all intensive purposes, just like an abusive partner. No matter what, you will never be good enough. No matter what. Yeah, every now and again you will get a lucky pull. Every now and again you're going to get a reward. Like, the game's going to give you that thing to lull you back. It's safe to say, when it comes to it, Genshin has waves with players. Right now we have players flocking back every update because new area. Or Here's a new way they made life easy. Believe in this one, they did Cloud Retainer and forget the second character, Nahida. No, it's another character. It's a new character and an old character, and then the 4-star is Gaming. One of them is Gaming. But the way it goes is, at the end of the day, you could say the game is rewarding you every now and again to just lull you back in, but most of it is going to be, congratulations, you've pulled a Chi-Chi for the 50th time. And given the fact that we've almost gone on for about half an hour, would like to say, everyone, thank you for watching. We will never be coming back to Genshin Impact on my end, stream-wise and or off-stream. If anything, would like to say, we're going to do the last polls here on this video. Why? Because why not? So, we're not even going to edit this. That section that had it cut, we're going to leave it in. We're going to pull. We're going to do it one last time, chat. We're not chat, viewers. Because right now, as it loads, this game has done enough to make me realize could be doing better things with my time, could be doing better things with my resources. I'm sick and tired of, oh wow, you hate that. Like, every time Zen Zen raises a concern, that concern just gets kind of nullified. Like, somebody in the community will immediately say, oh well, it's just a gotcha game, or oh well, there's no more oh wells. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go in one last time. All the wishes. And that's it. This is the last polls from me. Because right now, let's face it, it's not going to get better. It's going to cause the illusion that it's getting better. And with all that said, let's start the polls, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, look, it's a character we got. See? We get 1 extra wish. Because we pulled him 6 times. See? You could pull for him. Now, if it was a 5-star, it's the same thing. You get 1 extra wish, to my knowledge. Look at that. We get 1 extra wish. Well, we're gonna pull for... Hey, look, it's another character we already have. Another character we already have. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the last wish. 5. With that said, it's time With that said, would like to say, everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with the very, very scrambled video. Officially, after today, Hoyo Zenzen quits. Y'all take care. Links and such are down below in case you ever want to catch me live streaming some other games, or in case you want to come on down. Would love to have you. Till then, y'all stay safe. Keep being amazing. We'll catch you all next time. This is Ero Zenzen, signing off.